keep on running around. You keep on running around with other women in town. I've had enough of these games.
In terms of the PT sessions that you've seen this morning, so you've seen all the individualized like approach. You see how much more relaxed it actually is, rather than just like screaming and directive and telling people what to do.
Yeah.
How would you describe your experience with the engine class?
So taking part in it was tough. It was a tough session today. It was delivered in a similar type of way in that it was scalable. So it was Amo. He took the session and he paired me up with another guy, Noah. So me and him pretty much went after it. We sent it, which is exactly the type of workout that I wanted to have.
Yeah.
But for other people in the groups then, he was kind of scaling back and wasn't about screaming and shouting. It was just about giving them the appropriate amount of challenge that we always talk about. Yeah, well.
And the education piece that exists there, right? So it's like the members know what the quote unquote the stimulus is, not from an extreme science standpoint, but from like what it is this should feel like for you for the session.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And like that's one of our most popular classes is those engine classes.
Yeah, that's what.
And it fully complements what we're doing in the strength stuff.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
That's what Alex was talking to me about this morning. Because for me right now, one of the struggles that I have, our engine workouts are so quiet. And it was a good point that Alex actually made. It's about the education that goes behind it with your members. Because we still have a lot of members who associate the value of a good workout by being absolutely busted and exhausted afterwards, to the point where it's taken away a little bit from their PT the next day. So I was a little bit surprised. I asked Alex and he said, yeah, it's one of our most popular sessions. So for me, that I know I have a little bit of work to do. They raise the education a little bit for our members and tell them, like, this is why you need to be doing this type of work. Your level, your zone 2 training and building that up. Because for me, seeing how busy that was today, I was like, fuck, I need to step it up a gear for our engine work.
Interpret it in reverse though, right? So it's like, yes, you do need to step that up, but it needs to be educated through the PT stuff.
Yeah.
Right, so it's recognizing from a personal training product, how good is that PT product, right? And how well does this complement what they're trying to do here? And then wrap it up into them, right? And what they're trying to achieve personally. So it's like based on you and our product at Denman, you have to do 2 strength and 1 aerobic conditioning, because I can get you stronger, moving better, changing your body composition, building more tone, all that kind of stuff, as well as feeling fitter, maybe dropping some body fat, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's about wrapping the product around deeply, rather than just like, oh shit, our large group engine class isn't well attended compared to that. But in reality, it's like we're not trying to optimize for that if it takes away from the PT.
Yeah.
All right. So the PT still needs to be like unreal. That's my goal for you this weekend, is to just understand how to interpret what good is and what great is, and then seeing where your business is at and how we can marginally make it better.
Yeah.
Your staff are like nowhere near where they need to be.
Yeah.
But your expectation of what they should be might be skewed because you're just hearing it from me through the lens of a camera and going, well, it needs to be hyper-personalized. Well, how personalized?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Or like we take the power of, let's say, the force plates. It's like, okay, that's cool, but how well are we using that sort of information?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like any assessment, right? An overhead squat, for someone who understands what the purpose of the overhead squat is, could be a great assessment for some people. But for some of the people coming to your gym,
Yeah, it could be terrible.
There's no point.
Yeah.
Right? Like what is the true essence of the overhead squat in relation to this client's goals? It might be nowhere near.
Yeah.
It's like, can this person squat with anterior load? Sweet. For a squat pattern to get better at squatting, that's all we need.
Yeah.
Do we need to see what they look like going overhead? No. How are you?
Good, hi.
Good, thank you. Flat whites?
Yes.
Thank you.
James, I appreciate it. Thanks, mate.
You're welcome, bro.
Thank you.
You made the trip. I'll look after you as much as I can.
Absolutely.
Because during these whiteboard sessions, what I actually force a lot of guys to do in that setting is just zoom the fuck out for a second, because you're so lost in the weeds. you're fighting fires every day, and you're just like, business, right? This problem and that problem and this staff member, and do I need to tear down my brand? All these things,
Yeah.
all these questions. Just take stock for a second and go, what are some of the key wins over the last 12 to 18 months that you can go, fuck, I'm glad we did it.
Yeah.
Right, let's start there.
It's so funny you say that, because this morning, I was up early this morning, really excited about this meeting today. And I used this morning as a chance. I haven't actually done this, gents, because I've been so in it. Like, not just in the gym, just everything. It's just taken over. So I used this morning as a chance to just reflect. Not so much in the last 18 months, but definitely since we've made the switch to small group PT. And it made me really appreciate there's been so many actually big wins. Switching all the coaches over to salary. Clear alignment within the team about what we're offering. What we do want the standard to be, or what we want to strive for it to be at least. I mean, that's huge. Now we have 4 coaches, 3 full-time, 1 part-time. Amy was able to quit her other job to focus on what she wants to do, but also focus a bit more in the gym as well. I have a bit more time to help the coaches. One of the things you said to me a couple of months ago was about make it about the team. Before we changed everything, I couldn't, because I didn't have the time. I was so in it. So even though there's like a handful of things there that when I'm in it day to day, I can kind of, play it off. But just having a bit of time today to reflect on it, we've made so much progress. And that switch that we made when we decided, you know what, we're going to do this, it was by far, professionally, the hardest thing I've ever had to do. And I would even say personally as well, because there were so many relationships wrapped up in what we were doing. But again, something you said to me that I keep on the forefront of my mind now is about those transactional relationships. And man, that really hit home for me. Because so many people, we're seeing these people every day and, fist bumping, talking, all this stuff, but transactional relationships is what really at the heart of it they were. And the growth now that I've had, genuinely over the last few months, has been massive. It's been the hardest thing I've ever had to do, but I'm so glad I've done it. But the wins are stacking up.
Thinking about you preparing for today's meeting, and the reality for you is, and I can say this because I've done what you've done, in the sense that I've moved to another country. Your clients become your only friends, and you, because that's where your time spent, and you create these amazing relationships. Then when you make the change, and you realize these friendships weren't friendships, they were just convenient conversations that were happening daily, in which you both, client and you, start sharing shit that you wouldn't normally share to a client because you thought you were friends, until you change the status quo, and then everything goes to shit, right? It's hard, right? And I think the reality is that as much as like that was hard for you, it's just a chapter change.
Yeah.
And you need to see that as not being hard, even though it is, and it's taxing emotionally and all the rest of it. But it's the cost of change, and it's the cost of growth for you. If not, you do what every other trainer here does and stay in the model that you were, which is not sustainable. It's not going to give you any time, any freedom. You're never going to spend time with your wife, and so then what's the point?
Yeah, it blows up.
It's the cost of growth, and I've always lived by this thing. Is like, as you grow, you need to keep making your circle smaller, keep your circle tight. One of my close friends and mentors, he's always said this to me: keep your circle tight, keep your circle small. And this analogy of like a hot air balloon can go higher with a little bit of less weight on it, right? So sometimes you got to cut that baggage off so you can float a little bit higher.
Yeah.
And I think for you, the cost of growth, the cost of change, all of that kind of stuff, like you've now walked through it, because at some point the frustration was way too much to bear to stay the same, and so you've done it.
Yeah.
And that's huge, bro. And you should reflect on it and go, fuck, we're in such a good position. Business has to give you freedom. You have to live in accordance of your values. Spending more time, quality time with Amy outside of the gym. Like, I don't know what it is you do, and that's what we're going to uncover today in terms of things outside of the gym that fills your cup.
Yeah.
But the gym cannot be your identity anymore, right? Because it's because of that when you tore the business down, you felt that you lost all identity.
Yeah, it was everything for that 5 years or so that we were building.
I was basically in a meeting, and this meeting was called Fucking Focus, and it was me and Ollie and our design agency who worked for us at the time, who did like graphics, content, whatever. And the meeting was fucking focused. I had all the verticals that we needed to focus on for PFCA and mentorship and all the rest of it. And I wrote this whole big ass whiteboard, and I came back and sat down at the desk. Ollie was next to me and the other two guys were there. And I looked at the whiteboard and I just got hit with this wave of like, how the fuck am I going to build a business if I'm still trying to do this PT thing or the rest? I have to burn this identity down. And it was largely down to my ego going, well, why can Ollie have multiple businesses but I can only have this one, right? And it was like, well, I want more, and you know, all this like ego stuff. The reality was like, if I could best place my time into this thing, my time is worth way more than 150, 200 pound an hour charging for PT. I was like, fuck, I need to do it. I then did it, had the conversations with my clients saying at the end of May, I'm done. And I remember like one of my close friends, she fucking like ugly cried. Do you know what I mean? She was like, I feel like this is a breakup. She was like, I've never cried when a guy's broken up with me. No guy's ever broken up with me. Now you doing it. And she was pregnant at the time. She was terrible. Anyway, we still remain good friends to this day. I remember about 2 weeks afterwards having a meeting with an accountant, and she had like just grilled me about finances, and I'm like, I've just given up my entire fucking PT business, making good money, to go all in on this. And I just broke down into tears. And I ended up fucking crying uncontrollably in my garden for 10 minutes because it was this forced fucking moment of like, it's done now.
Yeah.
And I never had a chance to actually stop and just like process it. Anyway, so I've never told that story, but for you, I think it's the same thing. It's like I wanted you to see this trip as a chapter close to everything that existed previously, and to go back renewed at a level that just like reflects the best version of you, a leader, a husband, and whatever else you want it to be. And that's what we need to design today. And the business is a lifestyle business. A big shift that I've made recently is like, just because it's a lifestyle business doesn't mean it can't be a cool business. Doesn't mean it can't be a big business. It just doesn't have to be this fucking massive thing that you're trying to sell. Do you know what I mean? And you got to be careful on who you get influenced from social media in terms of what it is you're trying to optimize for. If you can build a business that is in line with your values, that attracts your kind of people, and you're fucking proud of the impact that you're doing, and you wake up with like drive and purpose every day, what a fucking great business to have.
Like even being in there this morning, that's a dream for me, just being around people that are working out. But now I'm starting to fall in love with the process of learning to be a better leader and a better business owner. That wasn't even on the radar in the first few years. It's just, I was winging it. I'm a great coach, I'll figure it out. That was the mindset. But now I'm starting to really enjoy the process of even Jen's, like if I'm being honest, Amy and I are being honest, in the last year has only really been the time that we've really started looking at the numbers. Like, I mean, really looking at the numbers. Being part of the Gym Owners Network and having our, our spreadsheets and everything lined up. I'm starting to enjoy that now. I'm starting to enjoy implementing the little changes that we make, or seeing team members grow, but then seeing reflected in the bottom line a little bit as well too. Because all these new trialists that we have coming in, they're staying because the coaching's a little bit better. I like to think I'm a part of that. Because Amy's, doing an amazing job as well. I'm starting to fall in love with a different side of the coin. It used to just be all about the coaching, but now I can see myself. I'm kind of excited about what I can become and what Amy can become as well as part of the business, and that's it. I want something I'm proud of. Like that is the bottom line. I want something that's successful, that's making an impact, that I'm proud of.
Love that. Love that, man. Fucking, it's so sick to hear. One of the things I want you to walk away from today is like, what are hobbies that you're going to do outside of the fucking gym? Because you need a life outside of the gym, right?
Fact.
So it's like, whatever that is. Like, if it's knitting, God forbid it's knitting. But if it's knitting, then it has to be knitting.
That's what gets me. Going on a vacation with Amy, Jen, so that's the dream. Like, we took it for granted in the past.
Yeah.
Just want to go on a trip with my wife and actually enjoy it and not have to worry about work.
So let's do that. Let's book in 3 holidays between now and Christmas. 3 little trips, whatever it is, but you have to book them in.
Yeah.
And then let's get to a place where the business is so profitable that we can open up this coffee shop.
Yeah. I think Vancouver's perfect for us. It's such an outdoorsy place.
Oh yeah?
Highly encourage you to go. You've got to live right next to the beach.
Oh yeah?
So we're from Ireland. It's important for us to be around water. Yeah. So we're right next to the beach, Stanley Park, the mountains, Everything's there. It's a beautiful, beautiful place.
But on socials, I never see you going out.
Man, I'm always in the gym, gents.
See,
Genuinely.
that's what you got to stop.
Yeah.
So you need to get a dog to force you out.
Yeah. Even it's so funny because we're right in the heart of the West End. It's the only part of the city to me that feels like it's got a real sense of community about it. Like genuinely it does.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because we've got all our members, they live in the area, you know, proximity and all that. They very rarely see me outside of the gym, and when they do, it's so shocking for them.
Yeah.
When really it shouldn't be like that. I can see you know, bumping into people and
Yeah.
like, hey, how's it going? Like that's the way it should be for
Yeah.
me. But I'm seldom outside of the gym.
You need to get out of the gym.
I need to get out of the
So
gym.
we're gonna build a timetable for
Yeah.
how you're gonna spend time out of the gym.
Yeah.
Non-negotiable.
I'm
gonna,
all for it.
And you're gonna like Amy's gonna tell me yes or no.
Yeah.
All right. I'll have your wife message me. He's spotting it or he's not. We've got Demon Athletics, okay, and we can talk about how we're going to analyze it through the GON model from a marketing, sales, product standpoint, and then we'll look at leadership. Really important there is we've got you at the top, and we've got Amy, and this link needs to be the most important, okay? So if you guys are sweet, this is going to fire up, and then if this is firing up, it's reciprocating back to you, okay? So we've had some really cool conversations already today around like lifestyle, that kind of stuff, which we're going to double down into. We'll look into the weeds of the business, and then we'll come back to that, and then everything should kind of work out. Talk me through the business at the moment. Talk to me about where the numbers are at, what you think the right strategy is going forwards, any kind of roadblocks or anything that's like kind of holding you back, and then we'll navigate from there.
From making the switch around October last year, October, November, December was just honestly a lot of time spent on the existing clients that we had at the time.
Yeah.
You know, trying to smooth that transition as much as possible. Now, since the new year's really kicked in, the clients that have stayed with us through the transition are going to stay with us. But we're really looking at the new clients now. So these new members that are already buying into the new way we're doing things.
Yeah.
I feel like now because we've taken the time in the last 6 months, ripped the Band-Aid, changed the whole process. Now we have a really solid foundation. I genuinely think we've got a really great foundation now that we can build off. Service a small group PT. We're running at the minute pods of 5. Like we've got 10 racks, and we've got a couple of power racks in there as well. And we don't have as much floor space as we should. So that was part of the reasons for me. It was, well, we already had, half of the room has 5 racks, the other half of the room has 5 racks, so we'll do a pod of 5. Can we do pods of 6? I think absolutely. I think the coaches now are probably a little bit more better equipped than maybe they were 6 months ago to deal with that. Now we have a really good understanding of what small group PT should look like. I think there's nothing stopping us from doing 3 pods of 6, possibly 4 at a point if we figure out the schedule.
So firstly, the Irish curse is real.
Fact.
You have to get comfortable with 3 people to a rack, and that's okay. And if not that, at least 2 people to a rack, but that's normal.
Yeah.
All right, and with your facility, we can definitely do 6 to 1, and you need to.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a non-negotiable. The reason why you might feel like you want more space is because from a product standpoint, you still feel like it's like, well, if you're there and you're on your barbell, it's individual. But if you're sharing a barbell, it's not individual. When reality is like, well, if it's truly strength training, we're going to need them to put their appropriate load on, do their appropriate challenge set, and have adequate rest in order to get the right stimulus.
Yeah.
There's not enough education coming from you to the entire gym what it is that we do. So it's like remove a bunch of shit that you're doing, but if there's one thing you add, it's like a coach's corner type video at least once a month, maybe once a week, but most certainly at the start of every block. Rather than literally feeling like I need to call everyone and be like, so hey, the program is this is what I want you to think about. Just go, well, what are the general groups that exist within the business? The different goals that exist within the business. And if you were to write down everyone's name and next to it, go, why did they join and what are they trying to achieve? And how does your program speak to them? You could probably apportion a few different categories. They're just the social fitness group. They're just the ones who want to train hard so they can drink harder. It's like, okay, cool. Well, like, how do we communicate to them?
In terms of having a pod, I don't know, maybe this is again me micromanaging a little bit. If I have a pod of 6 people and 2 of them have performance kind of based targets, and then the 4 other ones in there are more of a beginner level, they just want to focus on body composition or whatever it happens to be. In the actual structure of the session, doesn't really need to change that much. We're just working with the coaches to make sure they have the skill set required to deliver everybody a really awesome session.
So if I've got 2 performance related people, they've earned the right to even be performance related. They've got a training age already. That would mean that I don't need to handhold every part of the session. So let's say we've got 3 racks, 2 people to a rack. The first 2 are for the 4 that you mentioned, normal Gen Pop people. The last rack could be that for the performance pair. But the warm-up, it's like, hey, the warm-up is XYZ. You 2, I want you guys to each warm up to a heavy set of 5. When you're there, call me over and we can look at and see how your form is. But while you guys are warming up, I'm going to spend some attention with these people who need a little bit more attention. Your newbies don't need to hear you go, right, barbell on top of the shoulder blades, pull the bar down, feet hip width apart, break at the knees and the ankle. They don't need to hear that. They've heard that 1,000 times.
Yeah.
And that's where you individualize, is just like, it's recognizing what cues and conversations are relevant.
Yeah.
Half the shit that's getting spat out from the coach is not relevant to everyone. So it's like, just direct them. You're ticking boxes on cues. You're ticking boxes on the session. But we're not ticking boxes on actual coaching the humans in front of us. And we're not educating. Right? And remember, education is something you do with someone, not to someone. Right? So we need to really think about what is the meaning or the context of this person and your programming, and how does it interlink? And that's what you guys need to do a better job at.
Yeah.
You need to find other ways to articulate to yourself what your value is outside of coaching and the performance-based results that you're getting for clients. Because you can't control that anymore to the way that you want to. You have to do it in a way that's high leverage, i.e. minimal use of your time, by maximal impact education to your team to a level in which now they can execute. Their wins are your wins. The members' wins are your wins vicariously.
Yeah, absolutely.
Rather than the fucking David show. And you need to get comfortable with the fact that, like, you can go for a walk along the water with Amy and the gym is going to grow without you. And that's the reality, is you don't think it can. But you need to shift that mindset, be like, well, how can it? And that's what you need to then do.
So as a big part of that, Jen's becoming a stronger leader. Do I need more education in terms of how I do that? Or is it very much just lean into the education with the coaches where they're at right now?
To be honest, a lot of it's just letting go, empowering your team, but also just being patient enough to let them learn. So I said to you, like, the goal is 1% better a week, not 100% better each time, and be pissed off that they haven't. Like, you will always, like, even if I went in today, there'll be snapshots that I would have seen that would have been like, what the fuck was that? But in the totality of snapshots, it's so much better. And there's always something we could do to improve over time.
Alignment as a team, and all of a sudden, and she has that on development.
If I draw a straight line,
Sessions a week, majority.
so I don't know where this becomes the byproduct. Tell me that we're not going to hit that. I want 2 hours of prep, pretty much, for each one of those meetings that happen each week. So the agenda's clear, the content's fucking concise, it's really impactful, and the meeting's no longer than 45 minutes. The staff are going to be handled more responsibility, to which they present stuff at the meeting as well. Who's in charge of member retention, which means that someone's going to run the at-risk report, attendance, low attendance, who's not responding, all that kind of stuff. They lead that risk meeting. You just watch, understand what are the behaviors that they're doing, the clients, that aren't serving their future version of what they're trying to become. Amy watches what's being said, and then in the team development meeting around behavioral change, she's preparing the team for those meetings. So we need to set some constraints. So we got coffee on a Monday. What are we doing on a Sunday?
You're not going to like the sound of this, gents. On Sunday, I'm in the gym pretty much all day on Sunday.
Why?
Just prepping for the week ahead, getting organised, doing
For a whole day?
Man, I could be in there from 8 until 6.
No, so that needs to stop.
Yeah.
What are you going to do on a Sunday?
Spend the day with Amy.
Right, so on a Sunday, you have 1 hour to prep for the week. 1 hour. You set the timer and that's it. You cannot give up a Sunday for that shit. And then you're doing something with Amy. Right there, set an activity for every Sunday. Like just book it in, even if it's something you wouldn't normally do.
At the minute on Sunday, we have a coach come in. Ellie comes in on a Sunday. We have a run club that we do on a Sunday, and then we have a mobility type
Close
session.
the gym on Sunday. The gym is closed on Sundays.
Yeah.
Close it now.
Yeah.
Your team need a break as well, so they can come in on Monday fresh. Okay. And if you need to communicate that to the members, it's like closing on Sundays. It's not being used, and the staff need time to regenerate and bring you more quality during the week to make your training even more impactful. As of end of April, gyms closed on Sundays. If you lose a couple of people, guess what? It's better than losing a coach or losing your wife. She's now given up her job to go all in on DA. This is a lifestyle business that the Hendersons can live a great fucking lifestyle together, not apart. You guys need to clarify the vision for your lives. That's something you both need to do. Like, what is the vision for this business and your life together? This is what I'm trying to do with you here. Is like micro dose. But it's like, okay, can we get DA to a place where, as a couple, we can go for 3 fucking sick holidays a year? If that's the vision right now, and maybe you guys want to have kids, whatever the story is, like build it.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that's the vision. And until something changes, for all intents and purposes, that's what we're working towards. It's pretty fucking sweet, to be honest. You're in such a great position. We have a model that actually works now. You need to get out of the way and let the things fucking fly.
So, how cool is this? We've had David Henderson, an Irishman who lives in Canada, who's in the Gym Owner Network, and he's been with us for over 18 months. David and his wife Amy joined to rejuvenate their love for their business and to tear it all down and start a new model, a new version that is going to speak to his ethos and his coaching values and actually build a sick team. He's been with us for over 18 months. We've never met. We've had this relationship through Zoom and the coaching program. So being able to have him attend the PFCA Coaches Seminar this weekend gave us this opportunity to meet, to have a bit of a whiteboard session, to reflect on how far he's come, film a testimonial, and obviously set a strategy for what is to come next. It was a huge day and just an awesome indication for the community built, the quality of gym owners in the community, and the success and the impact that we get to have. Big up Dave Owen, big up the Gym Owner Network. Let's go.